what? You see the title, I said, what? Because that's the best title I can give. This is like the third time I'm doing this because I had to think carefully, what the hell am I going to explain here? Because the last two times I tried, I'm trying to explain just the opening segment with Baron Corbin. And I'm going like, what, how do I explain this? And the best option I can come up with is, it was like HBK had made his show for this week. And then he got an order from, you know who, Vince McMahon. And some other stuff was tacked on top at the last minute. And that's what it felt like. It felt like certain things were just thrown at him at the last minute, and he had to try and book it in a way that made some sense to get the people he wanted on the show, like a Braun Breaker, and to make sure they were spotlighted. But it was like other stuff was thrown at him that had to be done immediately. Now, Baron Corbin's segment, he comes out from the back, has the people tell him to play his music. I kind of wish he went back to the old music. I didn't say this in my previous try at this when I was recording, but I would have liked to have him with the old Baron Corbin, the Lone Wolf music, just to give it a shot, to make it more nostalgic. He comes out, and I know I'm going to hear this from people in the comments saying, dude, this promo sucked. Let me give it to you like this. I've heard Baron Corbin for years in his promos. He's here, middle of the road. He isn't always great. He's not fully crappy. He's always in the middle of the road. He doesn't really go high or go low. He's always there. That could be mainly considered boring, but at least you know it's consistent. He isn't like most of these people that go up and go down and go up and down. At least he's consistent. I gotta say, this is the first time I've ever heard him while trying to do his promo with the crowd calling him I'm thinking about him being Constable Corbin, King Corbin, Bum-Ass Corbin, and Happy Corbin. He's gone through his promos over the years with all of these, but I think this is the first time I've ever seen him actually do a promo and at least not try to really take what is there from the crowd. None of it. He did not take anything from the crowd. He didn't try to go and goat the crowd to get pissed off. It was like he just wanted to get it over with. Now, I'm not saying that he's just been thrown to NXT and he's not happy about it. I don't know. Only thing I do know is that it was like that could have been just a script and he had just had to read it. And either he had no chance to put any input into it, no time to rehearse it, and what he did rehearse and make sure he remembered, he just wanted to get it over with. That's the first time I've seen him do it like that. There was no trying to play to the crowd at all. And that's the way it felt. And the way he spoke simply, I'm an OG. That part was all right. I started FCW. I started when NXT was nothing. These people here, they really do not understand anything. They think they're bigger than the main roster. They think they're real stars. They ain't nothing. They are entitled, and I want to teach them. That's what he relayed. And that's what he did in his promo. And understand, I say this again, he is a middle of the road. I think I said it. He is middle of the road. He's never been up or above or below. He's always just consistent. And like I said, people will see it's boring. That's how he is. That's how he's always been. But it's the first time it felt like that. But once Dragunov came out, it felt a little better. Because Dragunov made it very clear, you're going to do something against the guy here? No. I am next in line. And I'm taking on anyone, and I'm going to make sure you understand pain. That's what we got from that. And he wanted a match with him next week. Fine. But then we get Trick Williams coming out attacking, which makes sense because he did get attacked by Trick. Did get attacked by Baron Corbin. Did attack Carmelo Hayes. It makes sense to do that. I would have thought they'd wait at least a week. Wait until Dragunov had his match. But no. We get the match on the same show. Now I'm doing it right now. I'm not going in order. Corbin versus Trick Williams. Was that a good match? No. I'm telling you right now, Trick had no general chemistry with Baron Corbin. I don't think he's ever, that might have been the first time he's really met him. Maybe he's had a couple of days to know him in the back, but to actually work with him in the ring, you could tell Trick Williams was sloppy because he was not used to him. And he botched more than a few times while trying to do what he normally does. And let's make it clear. I've seen Trick wrestle only a few times, only a handful of times. He doesn't wrestle often. He's a hype man for Carmelo. But what I saw there was bad. And understand, Baron Corbin is not one of the greatest wrestlers. Just like as his mic skills are here, Baron is always consistent. He's above average when it comes to his wrestling. Above average. Not like he's great. You got average. You got him here. This is great. This is where he is normally. He doesn't usually go below it. Very rarely. So he's above average when it comes to his wrestling. But he could not do anything with this with Trick. I don't think they had any chemistry whatsoever. This might have been the first time they ever actually even practiced together, let alone wrestled one another. So it did look sloppy. Even when you looked at Baron, he couldn't even make most of it look right. It looks like he had to exert himself a lot more than normal, because when it came to doing deep six, you could tell it's not just because Trick was almost as big as him, because he's dealt with guys with the same size. It was like he either got his bell rung a little bit, because I think that might have happened a little bit, or he just trying to make it work tired himself out a lot more easier. Because he usually is not tankable. He doesn't tank very easily. He won the match, but didn't mean anything. It just felt like it should have been waited on. Like it should have happened next week or the week after. That Trick came at him, especially after Dragunov. That would have made sense. Before Dragunov didn't make any sense. That's just me. Next, let's go to the match that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad. Not the match itself, but one individual in the match. This is a mixed tag between Dyad and Alva Rain versus Diamond Mine. Look, Dyad is a good team. The Creeds are a good team. I think Dyad is more interesting than the Creeds. That's how I feel about it. They feel like a American Alpha when they were American Alpha, or a World's Greatest Tag Team with Kurt Angle under their wing. That's how the Creeds feel. So they're both good teams. When you look at Ivy Nile, she's more of a MMA style of a wrestler trying to do pro wrestling. That's the way she feels. I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler, particularly that she was able to take on some of the men and try to choke their asses out like this, putting her arms behind her and trying to choke them out that way. That wasn't a bad thing. And seeing her take, I believe it was Julius, and do a suplex and put him onto one of the members of Dyad, I can't remember who. It was fine. People liked it. They liked how she worked with the Creeds. There was no problem. But one problem, there is no way you can deny it. If you don't agree with me, more power to you. That floats your boat. But when you see Alva Rain, who is like this compared to Ivy Nile, she is taller than her. She's a big girl. I didn't realize how big she was until she literally was next to another woman who's smaller than her. Rock, you got a big ass daughter on your hands with a lot of ass. But is she the next Nia Jax? Oh my gosh. Guys, I am scared. You guys can tell me below what you felt when you saw the match yourself. But if you looked at Alva Rain and Nia Jax, what did you see? Did you see a difference? Or did you see almost the same type of style of wrestling? And I'm going, no! Oh my gosh. Was Nia Jax training Alva Rain? Because I didn't see anything other than Nia Jax. And it's not because she's as tall as Nia Jax. It's not because she got a fat ass like Nia Jax and beginning of a belly like Nia Jax. She's not super skinny, but she's not like abbed out and everything. You could tell she got a little belly, and that doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong as a woman to have a little bit of a belly in wrestling. I don't give a damn. Deonna Purrazzo was a gorgeous woman who can kick ass in the ring, and she's not cut like a Jordan Grace is. She's not. but she's still damn good looking. She's still damn fast in the ring, and she can wrestle her ass off. But when you compare Alva Rain to Nia Jax, they almost look, one looks younger than the other. One looks like what the other one will become. And that's scary, that we may get another Nia Jax on our hands. And literally how Nia Jax, her attitude and her wrestling has not been good. Yes, Dyad won due to the fact that Alvi Nile gets nailed in the face by one of the masks Alva Rain decided to put a mask on, whack her in the head, and the next thing you know, she's unconscious and gets pinned. Fine. But I'm scared. Please let it just be this one match that she didn't just act like a Nia Jax. You guys tell me below, did she look like she acted like Nia Jax? I want to know. I don't want to hear you just repeat what I say. Tell me what parts you saw while she wrestled that made you think Nia Jax, if that's what you saw. Next. Alright. Let me give it to you like this. Did I like Danny Palmer in her performance against Davenport? I'll give you this. She's interesting. Palmer I've only seen a couple of times. And she's interesting. But comparing her to Blair Davenport, there's no comparisons. Blair is more polished, more refined, more obvious. And of course, she's still new in the business. But you can easily see that she has a lot to learn, because Davenport had controlled that match and made it mean something. Now, mind you, it wasn't a great match because Davenport is working with someone much more inexperienced in itself, but at least it did work. But I have to admit, Blair did sell a little bit too much to Palmer. I'm just saying. I'm honest. I'm just saying she didn't need to sell that much. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Next, we got Mustafa Ali. I know it's Mustafa. If nobody says, I know no one says Mustafa. It's Mustafa. I'm going to always say, because that's how he was called, Mustafa. And I'm always going to keep calling Mustafa because he sounds better that way. He sounds more profound. Hey, I'm Lion King. What do you want? But when you see him against Joe Gacy, I will tell you this. Was it a bad match? No. Did they do a good job? Yes. But here's the big question. How far are they going to let him stay on NXT? Saying that you're a free agent means jack to Vince McMahon. It don't mean jack. He's going to send you where you need to go, counting if you want to be there or not, because there's a strong possibility this will not last very long. This will not last long. And if they're going to try and make it mean something for the North American title when it comes to Wes Lee, who will gain something working with Ali. Really, he will gain it. Look, they're going to have a match next week against Dyad and Joe Gacy due to the fact that Joe lost. Dyad came out to beat him up. You get Tyler and Wes coming out to save an Ali, and now the match is for next week. But the thing that I'm hoping for, that they keep him there for at least 3 or 4 months. Let him keep being called a free agent. I don't care. Yes, hearing him say, look, let's make this interesting. Let's have a rematch, but this time one-on-one between Tyler Bates and Wesley. I want to see it. Fine. Him setting that up was fine. Him guiding those two, I don't have a problem with. None. Glad to see that he's going to be the one that's going to be working with these two. He'll probably wrestle them both. Maybe, I hope. But I'm hoping for more than like a month or 2. I'm hoping for 4 or 5 months of him being on NXT, even if he has to do double work on both shows. I don't care what show. If he's going to Raw and he does his work and then he got to go to NXT, I don't care. Let him do double work. Let him be like the New Day. I don't care. But let him stay there for 4 or 5 months. It will really help out Wesley. It will help out. See it like this. You got Frazier. You got Axiom. You got Tyler Bates. You got these guys that really could benefit working with a Mustafa Ali. I'm just saying. Moving on. Eddie Thorpe versus Damon Kemp. What are they going for here? Damon said that he was cheated last time. And now they show again him getting cheated during the match. Because when he got pinned, his right leg was touching the ring rope. And now he has a right to complain about it again. But what does this mean for Eddie Thorpe? I don't feel anything from Eddie. Nothing. And it's not because they're not doing enough vid packs about him, about his Native American heritage. I don't feel any character from him. He's generic as it can be. He has no personality. It's not because he can't talk. I heard him at least so far once. He can talk okay. There's no personality. And I'm not asking for him to run around like Jay Strongbow or Tatanka or like a, who else? Like an Ultimate Warrior, because that's what it felt like to me. When I looked at the Ultimate Warrior, I felt like Native American culture was there. When it felt like he felt like someone who was following Native American culture. And that meant something to me personally. But I'm not feeling anything from him. It's not about his ring work. He even can talk okay on the mic from what few times he's spoken. He's just nothing. He's blank. I'm just saying. Now, I got to get this over with. These two video packages. Starks and Tony. I got to tell you, I enjoyed it. It made sense since Tony is in a lockup. He wants to make sure that Stacks, as the underboss, do the right thing while he's not there. So there looks like they're going to be bringing in some of the people in the Performance Center to work with a underboss. Because that's the way it was. When you see Knuckles has been there and due to the fact of what he was up. Don't say it on the phone. Honestly, it looks like they're going to bring in one or two more people into the family. At least an extra person to help out Stacks while he's waiting for Tony to come back. As the underboss, it's his responsibility to be doing something. As Tony said, you're the underboss. Figure it out. Don't go and look for any of the other families that we usually would deal with. You know it's Gallus. They're the ones who did this. Get someone, figure it out as the underboss. So this will be a good thing for Stacks and his moment to shine, to bring people in, to make it work for the family. I'm interested in seeing that. The other one, Von Wagner, one almost choking out one group therapist. Two walks out on another group, another therapist. But the moment he saw some piece of ass therapist, in other words, going like this and blonde hair, blue eye, apple pie. That's what we got a lot of tonight. We got a lot of blondes. Now, mind you, I married a blonde. Yeah. My ex-wife was a blonde. Actually, my ex-wife was an albino. Who was a mix like myself. But she was albino. Blonde, blue-eyed. That's how she was. I wasn't looking to just land someone that looked like her. I wasn't. I go by personality. But I was lucky. But the point is, they showed a lot of blonde women on that show. And it goes along with Dana Brooke. I know I can wait until the Battle Royal, but I just wanted to say it now. Dana Brooke. What? Really? Moving on. We got Dabakento. I believe I'm saying his name right this time for some reason. I feel like I gotta say Dabakento because they're pushing him. He goes against Scripps, the former Reggie. And pretty much dominated until you get Axiom coming out trying to save Reg. And Reg gets the pin, but then gets destroyed afterward. Now, mind you, he did come out doing the Sin Cara gimmick of running up to the ring, jumping on a trampoline, jumping into the ring. Not everyone does that. But it's not a bad thing to see. And I don't mind seeing Reggie do it. Because Reggie's more of that type of style of person. Did he do a decent match in a match? Yeah, he was good in a match. But the point is not about him. is Dabba-Kento. And he destroyed them both, not looking that dominant. I'm going to be honest here. Captain Azid never... What was Captain? Commander Azid, I'm sorry. Commander Azid never got me. He never pulled me in. He didn't feel legitimate. He didn't feel important. They're trying to repackage him as Dabba-Kento. And at this point, since Von Wagner's going to the main roster and he's not really dealing with Dabba-Kento, the only big guy they got there is him, generally speaking. Next to Odyssey Jones, which we haven't seen him in a bit. So the question is, and you know where he's gone. He's not there anymore. So it's just Von Wagner. I'm like, is he that great? Is he that important? To me, no. But they're pushing him. So the question is, will he mean something? Is he going to be the next Omos? Or will he be the next big man like a Braun Strowman? Which, yeah, Braun wasn't perfect. But at least he did win the people over. That's going to be the question. You guys tell me below. Now, Nolan Dar. What? Look, the I'm saying triple X. The triple HT of Frazier and what do I gotta say about Dragon Lee? Did he sound more interesting than Frazier? Yes, he did. Yes, he spoke Spanish, which I can't understand. But his attitude and personality seemed a little more charismatic. You got Frazier's and you got his. Not a lot more, but it was obvious. He did, at least, has more charisma at this moment. I think Frazier can work on it. I think he can. Compared to Nolan Dar, who just is not his accent. I can understand what he's saying. Weirdly enough, any type of European accent, generally speaking, I can't understand it to a certain extent. But that could be due to the fact of how I grew up and watching British comedy. Because I was very familiar, British comedy, British science fiction. Because I grew up watching British comedy. I grew up watching British science fiction. So the accents of someone from Britain or from Europe, I'm at least familiar with it that I can understand it. So Nolan Dar is not the key here. Now, when you look at the Triple HT, I'm like, it made sense. They're trying to set up the Nolan Dar match with Frazier to do the Heritage Cup next week, I believe. It was fine. But when it came to the interview with Nolan Dar, Lash Legends, Jackson, and Omi, I can't remember his name. I keep forgetting his name. It fell apart. It wasn't because of the ladies there and MASH. It was Nolan Dar. Because he just doesn't feel like he has enough charisma to make what Menford, what did they call it? Not Magnifique. The metaphor. There you go. I think that's what it was called. The metaphor. I just don't feel his charisma. It's not his accent. He's got a thick accent. Yeah, he got a thick accent. Not much different than anybody here in New York. Trust me. I've seen multiple accents from people from Albania, from regular Soviet Union, Russia. That's when I was growing up. They called it the Soviet Union. Now they call it Russia. Well, they called the Soviet Union, Russian Federation, now Russia. I grew up in all those eras. I've met people from Jamaica, St. Mark's. I met people from Barbados. I met people from different parts of the world. I met people from Canada, Ghana, Nigeria. I think I met one person from Zimbabwe once. New Zealand. I've met people with different accents. But I always can understand them. And I can tell when they have like a certain type of attitude, a little bit of charisma. Nolan Dar's charisma is just not showing. It's like he's trying to make it there and it's just not feeling it. I'm just saying. All right. Finally, the Battle Royal. Dana Brooke. I was like, are they really going to do this with Dana Brooke? Are they really going to let Dana Brooke have this moment? Yes, they did have Thea Hall's moment where she'd already been working with Dempsey and Gulad and she's trying to become better, even though that is not part of Chase U. She wants to become a tougher wrestler, a tougher fighter, and be important. So I was all right with that. They did this segment last week. They did this one this week. At least they're going with storyline that after what she's gone through with Schism and she wanted to become more tougher, she's gone through Dempsey, and now this is the second time. I'm all right with it. But then we have this match where I'm going like, it's nearly 9:50. And are they going to stretch this to what? 10:15, 10:20? I'm sure it's going to be 10:15 because that's as far as they normally would go. 10:10, 10:15. So we're seeing everyone in there. I was hoping Kiana James would win it. I was not hoping for Fallon to win it, but both of them got eliminated. Then you see that, who was the one who started fighting one another? I can't remember most of the women that started fighting one another. I think they may start doing feuds together. But by the time it was near its end, we had Thea Hall. We had Dana Brooke. And we had Cora Jade. And I'm going like, I can understand Cora Jade. They're probably going to give it to her. I like Thea Hall of Chase U. I like her. But Dana Brooke. Really? If Dana had won that, I would have said, what? That's what I was going to go. Why? That was the original time I was thinking of. What? Really? Why? But, what makes the best sense for Thea Hall? Because this is the first time they're actually doing something with Thea directly. Yes, it's just something for Tiffany to do. Yes. And I don't expect Tiffany the job. I don't expect it. This is what they wanted. They lost Mandy. Now they got Tiffany, who's just as beautiful, just as curvy, just as hot. And has charisma. Still need to work on her mic skills. It's not the tone of her voice. It's how she delivers that tone. That's the problem. She needs to work on it. But I expected maybe Cora Jade, who is way more polished than Tiffany. I could see it. I could see that Cora Jade with her, the era Jade would make the most sense. Yes, heel to heel. I expected. But when I was thinking of who the other two would win, I thought they were going with Dana. I really did. But they decided to go with Thea. Oh, I always love Chase U because it's stupid. And I miss Andre. I don't know when he's coming back. Maybe he's gone. Maybe he's injured in real life. But he's not there at this moment. And it's about basically Duke running it. But I still like Thea. And seeing that they're finally giving her this moment, which, yes, we know she's not going to win, but at least they are giving her this moment. And after all the hard work she's put in to try and become something, this is what we get. What is the best way to say it? Peace.